The DeepWoken community is actually being misled by none other than the community and the mods themselves. So after my previous videos, I have actually gained a lot of attention and community feedback. And there's one thing I keep seeing in the comments and over places of the talk about the video is they keep going, but Heroz, didn't you say so and so? And I'm like, we're always back at the same issue. I'll explain. The DeepWoken mods, they wanted to get me out of the community. This has been evident now. I actually watched a video today by a YouTuber. Shout out to the YouTuber who did the video on this. He's Dan VR. Now Dan VR actually did a video on this, my situation, where he talked about it, reviewed it, and he was like, yeah, he agrees that the mods really only banned me because I called them out and I was on the radar. I'll show a clip right here.
The only reason that he is game banned is because somebody got their feelings hurt and they went out of their way to target him. 1000% I will agree with that, because it's happened to me.
But there's also a problem, is that he was also misled by them. Now, at the time of the DeepWoken Discord situation, obviously there was a religious debate in general. And some people are, oh, well, why was there a religious debate? Ask the community. I joined, I didn't start it. But in the debate, the main problem is that people who were against Christianity, against me, and against Christianity, wanted to take things out of context to paint things in a bad light. For example, I was talking with a Muslim person, a nice Muslim person, and we were talking about the law in Islam. Now, the law in Islam, specifically the Middle East, I used to have a Muslim friend. His name's Abdul. I used to actually play DeepWoken with Abdul. He was actually the one who got me into the game. But he was telling me about how, if a woman cheats on her husband in the Middle East, she gets stoned. So I was talking about, yeah, that's pretty much what happens in the Bible too. That's what happens when you cheat. If you, defame God, blasphemy, things like that, you get stoned. Now we're having a conversation and someone goes, oh, so then what if your wife cheats on you? Well, then it's her funeral. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? But what happens when you cut out all of that context leading up to it and just put in your funeral part? It goes, hold on a second, is he talking about killing his wife? No, I'm not. Never was I ever. Talking about the government officials in the Bible, that's what they did to people who cheated. Happens to husbands too. If you were to cheat on your wife, you get stoned. That's how it. But the problem is the context is all removed. So now to people coming into the chat or people coming into the situation, they don't know what happened before. And this is where it gets interesting. The mods knew that people will be able to go back and go, hold on a second. Actually, that's not what he said at all. Never did he say he was going to do anything to anyone. He was talking about the biblical laws and the Islamic laws. Problem is, this is where the mods get really smart here, is when they banned me from the Discord, they also specifically checked the box to delete all previous messages. Now, with that gone, with all my messages gone, but only the responses, now people can only screenshot the out of context messages and only show the responses and not anything leading up to it. Now, when people go to the chat, there's nothing for them to see context-wise, so it looks horrible. For example, specifically this screenshot. Now, this screenshot here is me talking about how I have cameras in my house. And one, I have cameras in my house because a few years ago I got broken into. And second of all, is we might be expecting a baby soon, and we need to monitor the baby from different rooms. And that is in the second line, then talking about how people said, oh, what if your wife just goes up and leaves and does it? Like, well, we can't. Whenever we go somewhere, we discuss things. When you're married, you don't get to go up and anywhere. Like, for example, let me give you an example. A few weeks ago, I went out with my boys and I didn't tell my wife. She was very upset because communication is an important key. Not only do we have to tell her, but you also have to ask her. Let's say she was having an important situation. Maybe she was feeling a bit down. Right now, she's feeling a bit down as her family might be moving back to their home country. And if I was to go out right now, what if she needed me that night to cuddle and be around her and give her comfort, emotional support? And I was just playing with my boys. Oh, I'm a free man. I can do whatever I want. No, you have to consider your partner. Now, when you reverse the roles, it should be the same, no? But when you reverse the roles, all of a sudden, some people start to see issue with that. Why do they see issue with that? If you see no issue with a husband staying home to take care of his wife, why do you suddenly start to see an issue with a wife staying home, to be with her husband, or to just talk to her husband, or just spend time with her husband? Why is it not okay when it's reversed? But I digress. And this final one is probably the worst of all. The worst of all is they cut out not only the part above, but the part below. Because right below that, I actually got to explain, and I'm also her possession. Because I'm hers, she's mine. We're unified, we're married. That's kind of how marriage works. This is the worst of all, because they specifically did that just to paint out like I'm calling her an object. And they're going, call her object? When did I ever say that? The mods were very crafty with this one, very slick with it, because now there's no way to ever trace what I said, and all it is my word versus theirs, and there's no way to prove what I was saying before because those messages are gone, and there's no log because they weren't manually deleted, they were bulk deleted when I was banned. The mods are not very slick, and the worst part is lots of the community members are believing these things, and they're believing, you know, you were saying these bad things, but when you get the context, it's like, oh, he was actually talking about the topic in general, and it makes sense when you see the topic, but stand alone, it looks pretty bad. Now, the communication of the mod team and the community to the mods and the staff to the community is very subpar. It's very horrendous. And what makes this bad is I've actually been getting DMs from community members asking me for help. Bro, I don't even have 1,000 subscribers and people are asking me for help in the community. That's how bad it is. Now, granted, some of these people may or may not be lying. We don't know. But the problem is nobody knows. Apart from apparently the mods. I'll explain. I got a DM yesterday from an individual called Bola. Now, Bola actually messaged me asking for help about his situation where he got banned for apparently doxing someone. He said, yo, I don't dox anyone. I don't even talk to people outside of our friend group. Like, I don't understand how have I doxed someone. I'm like, okay, well, show me what the mods said when they banned you. And the mods went, doxing. And he went, okay, can you tell me what I've done? Like, show me evidence of, provide me something. If I've doxed someone, then surely you should have logs or a message or something. You can show me that to prove that I've doxed someone. Doxing. Denied. A closed ticket. Where is the communication? Where is the transparency? Because the thing is, when you don't provide, evidence or any sort of transparency for this, all it looks like is you falsely banned them and you don't provide the proof because you can't, because there is no proof. If you had proof, why wouldn't you show it? For example, me, when there was false allegations saying that my wife was a minor, which is somehow a thing that came up against people who hated me, I showed her literal passport to debunk it immediately and got tons of apologies from the community going, yeah, I don't know why we believe that, we should ask questions, he just proved it. Why can't the mods just go, you're banned for this reason and here is the evidence? Why is there no reason? Why is there no transparency? Why can Bola not receive evidence for the reason he was banned? Why is he banned with seemingly no comment about it? I do believe that the mod team needs reform. Not only is there a lack of communication, but so many people are putting, story together about how they've had bad experiences with mods. I don't think throughout all of my time, playing Roblox, apart from games like Type Soul, I don't think I've seen this sort of like disdain towards the mods at this level. It seems that the majority of the community has a problem with the mods, and there's nothing you can do because they're the mods. They're the community holders. There's nothing you can do to get them removed because they're the mods. You have to tackle them one by one. It's just, they are the upper echelon here, and the community just has no say over it. Unfortunately, that's just the situation the DeepWoken community is stuck in right now. The epidemic here. I am going to be posting more horror game content back to my usual content, but I will be also talking about any further situation. After being in this community, I'm not going to let this slide. Not only just from me, but for people like Bola, who have DM'd me asking for help about the situations, and any other person in my comment section talking about their situations. I'm going to be continuing to report on this, and even though they've banned me from the game and the Discord, I will not be letting up, as I have guild members and friends who play this game, and they will be reporting back the situations to me, so I will bring it to light. This community needs reform, and if it has to be torn down and destroyed for it to be rebuilt a healthy way, then that's what must be done. Thank you for watching.